So I want to talk about Portland Thorn's 17-year-old Olivia Moultrie. I'm sure many of you by now have seen her absolute banger of a goal versus the North Carolina Courage and a couple of her amazing assists as well. But what I want to talk about is the more subtle things that she does, which I think is important to look at because obviously scoring amazing goals and providing amazing assists is very, very valuable and is the type of stuff you like to see in a young player. It stands out, it's noteworthy. But as someone who generally plays in central midfield, in areas in the middle third, she needs to be able to provide a lot of subtle value that will add up over time for her to be impactful game to game, and more importantly, possession to possession, right? When you're looking at those types of players, it's about what are you doing possession to possession that marginally improves your team's chances of getting into dangerous positions. And then once you're there, okay, then as a secondary kind of quality, how are you contributing? And so I want to start off by looking at Moultrie's security in possession. And what we're going to see is one, her technical ability, right? So her first touch, her touches after that to evade pressure, and then a kind of underrated physicality about the way she plays. But what was really important, really, any type of player who's going to find themselves in lots of situations where they're receiving with lots of players around them, applying pressure to their back. So in this situation, receiving from the wing, and there's nothing outrageous happening here. And that's going to be the point of most of these clips. But as you can see, like when she receives, very purposely is in a situation where she's receiving on the half turn and putting her body between the defender and the ball, so that if there's a situation where the defender comes to make a tackle, it'll be a foul, right? There's no way for the defender to end up getting to the ball here because of the way she's receiving. Turns, body between defender and the ball, makes the pass, and Portland are able to switch to the far side. Real simple stuff. This one here, I think you'll see a little bit more of what I'm talking about. So it's a loose ball, right? And she's trying to control the ball at the same time while you have this player right here all over her, like draped all over her. I think there's a hand there on her shoulder, and Moultrie has to secure possession here. And as you can see, she does, right? So in this situation, ball bouncing all over the place. Again, her mind immediately goes to sealing off the player because she can't immediately get the ball here. So the first thing she needs to do is seal off the player using a little bit of arm here, ensuring that her body is between the defender and the ball, so then she has the time to go and find a way to bring it down. And once she does, just a little bit of genius, chips it over the player, and her teammate over here can go and make the cross. And I can't tell you how many players, right, how many just league average players are just not securing the ball here, either because they don't have the physicality or the awareness of how to control their own body to seal off the defender, and then because they can't make this pass right here. So, like, think about this. This is a 17-year-old who's pretty much already kind of mastered all the little things you need to do to secure possession in that situation. And this is pretty valuable, right? Like, out of a pretty chaotic situation, has ensured that her team is the one with possession of the ball. And out of this chaos, there's a free run down the wing. And if that cross is better, you have a potential cross and a shot into the box. Out of Moultrie just being able to secure possession. So certain times this type of thing will be more subtle. At certain times, this stuff can directly contribute to something more valuable. So this is why this type of stuff is important. So here you have another ball, her receiving in the air. And this isn't really so much about what she's doing with her body, but just her technical ability, right? Just is able to kill that off her thigh and surrounded by three players here. I mean, think about how many players might panic being in this situation, right? You might try to turn away. You might just try to punt the ball out of there. She's so calm. Kills the ball out of the air. Just a couple of touches. Simple. Makes it look easy. Maneuvers out of the situation. And we'll continue the clip here because we'll talk more in other videos about her positional and spatial intelligence. But I just keep it going, right? Because it's in this clip. What I really like here is she recognized Sophia Smith is the striker here. dropped off. There's no one occupying a defensive line. So what does she do? How does she continue to make herself useful? She goes and becomes a striker. I love this from central midfielders. Right? Goes and occupies. And here she kind of makes herself, available, trying to make this run right here. Not a horrible idea. Probably what ends up happening is you see her end up kind of clogging Sophia Smith's driving lane here, but not a huge deal because what ends up happening is played to the far side. Guess who's at the back post to get a super high quality shot? Although, okay, she ends up missing it. If you know me, I don't really care about that. It's about the ability to get that shot and, the percentages and XG and all that. But this is again, just starting from the ability to securely retain the ball under a lot of pressure and then assess the situation correctly, move into another position where she's useful. All of a sudden, a random loose ball turns into a high value chance at the other end that she ends up getting onto and unfortunately misses. This is really impressive stuff from a 17-year-old, may I remind you. So again, another ball in the air that she's just able to take out and rotate to the far side. I mean, think about the kind of outlet she can be in offensive transition, given her ability to just take the ball out of the air, dodge pressure as she does here, and then just get play moving, right? Her teammates would feel safe just kind of punting the ball into her area, even though she's not a physically domineering player, right? She's not huge, she's not amazingly strong, but she just uses her body really well, coupled with technical ability that just allows her to immediately take control of kind of chaotic situations, clearances, loose balls, and then get the play moving, which makes her a pretty key outlet for Portland in offensive transition when she is playing. And as you can see here, because of what Moultrie does, Morgan Weaver can go 1-1 and get a shot off in the box. And the final one here is her just kind of receiving, receiving an opposition player pass, so just making an easy interception here. And again, surrounded by 3 players, no problem, quick footwork out of there, and Portland can launch an attack. So just really impressive security on the ball. Everyone on this team feels safe passing to her. She just makes simple decisions to get play moving for Portland. She has the technical ability, the body control to ward off pressure coming to her back. And so you have a player who just already kind of does all the things you want a really, really good central midfielder to do in situations to keep the play flowing, to buy extra possessions for her team. And really what this is about is just improving the efficiency of how her teams play. It's the type of thing that adds value in the aggregate, right? She does this 20, 30 times over, 3 to 4 games. That is going to start leading to goals, right? And as we saw, it led to some pretty good chances in this video. So I wanted to start this kind of analysis of Moultrie's play with this, because this is what stood out to me first when I watched her. And we'll go through other videos that I've compiled of her and start analyzing the rest of her play. But I wanted to start off with her security on the ball.